Hello Aquarius, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Chakra Wisdom Tarot by Tori Hartman, artwork by Katrina Sokolova. The spelling for Katrina's name is below the word tarot if you'd like to see it. Websites are torihartman.com and watkinspublishing.com. Feel free to freeze frame on that if you would like that information. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, and this one is illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. Websites are pretty much the same, torihartman.com, watkinspublishing.com. There's also watkinspublishing.co.uk in the black bar if you're interested. Again, feel free to freeze frame if you need to. What do we have for Aquarius? There's a lot of Earth coming out lately, which is interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of Earth coming out. It's just not bad. And I say that, and how many are there? Hierophant, I consider Earth. 8 of coins, 2 of coins, 6 of coins, Ace of coins, the Hermit card. So like 6. There's 6 cards here out of like the 12. So what is going on with this? Oh, you're seeing what some... Okay, hold on. Because I feel like your Tower card coming half in, half out. 10 of Cups in question. You're seeing something for what it is. It's not that you didn't know something was off here anyway. When I see trickery showing up in this situation, it's not that you didn't think there was something off. You knew something wasn't right. But as we keep going forward, I feel like you're uncovering more pieces of the puzzle. And it's kind of like, yeah, I knew that was screwed up, but the reason I thought it was screwed up seems to be... That's what's in question. Like, wait a minute, why is this really happening? I thought I kind of saw where it was coming from. Wasn't completely sure, but I kind of had my inklings it was coming from over there. But now I'm seeing like, well, yeah, that's part of it. But now I'm seeing why that's happening. I'm like seeing the reason behind it. Yeah, that person, they're screwing things up. But I'm now seeing like the reason they're screwing things up is because these other 2 people over here are giving that person bad information on purpose. So yeah, they're technically the ones screwing it up. But now I'm seeing why they're screwing it up, and maybe it's not really their fault if these other 2 people are setting them up constantly. So it's kind of like this is evolving. Kind of like, yeah, they are screwing it up. But the reason why is like, wait a minute, but that's not right. It's like they're making a cake and it always tastes horrible. But then you're realizing they're not, people over here are like switching out their ingredients. And they're like, instead of giving them wheat flour, they're giving them I'm getting like almond flour, which if you've worked with those things, they work completely differently. Like wheat flour, I want to say wheat flour, standard flour or whatever that is, like almond flour. They have different consistencies, they absorb things differently, they taste differently. Definitely taste differently. So I feel like, wait a minute, people are switching out their ingredients and not telling them, and when this stuff goes in there, they're not checking it. It all looks the same to them, and it's not coming out right, but that's why it's not coming out right, because other people are setting them up. This does seem to be moving forward very slowly. I mean, I know there's a lot of Earth here, but it does seem to move forward very slowly. You're trying to help this situation. You do seem to be invested in this, and it's one of those situations where, okay, I kind of see what's going on here, but I also know how these people work. And if I called it out for what it is, and I just put it right out there, okay, this is what's happening, I see it now, and I'm making sure everybody knows, I'm going to get like the target's going to go from that person to me, and I'm going to be the new target. I do need this to go better. I need to fix this, but I'm not looking to be the target. Because it's kind of like, if I take the target from that person's back, I'm not really confident that they're going to help me out. they're just going to feel relieved that the target's off of their back, and then I'm going to be here fighting this battle by myself, and that's not going to work for me either. So the question is, how do I deal with this? How do I fix this? I think it's going to be a slow process, and I don't see me liking that. When I say me, I feel Aquarius. I don't feel you liking that, to be fair. I feel like I'm slowly but surely trying to put forward what's actually going on there. It's almost like I'm putting information in front of this person, and not like I don't want them to know that I'm giving them the information, but I'm trying to like put information like almond flour, like you have almond flour. That's not wheat flour, that's almond flour. Be aware of what you're using. It's kind of like, okay, they get that point, but they're not understanding why that matters. It's kind of like somebody, if they're not used to baking, they may not realize that almond flour and regular, I keep calling it wheat flour, but all-purpose flour, whatever. They're not realizing that those act totally different. They just don't, the flavor, the texture, the way they absorb liquids, totally different. So it's like they're not realizing it. It's like I sent the information, okay, they realize they have almond flour, they don't understand why that matters. Okay, now what? So now I have to start putting information in front of them. Oh, look at the differences between the two. Like, the flavor, the taste, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to work forward, but it's really a slow process. Whoever this person is, they're having a hard time accepting that they've been doing something wrong for a while. I feel like you're looking at this like they don't have the information to realize they're doing it wrong, but they're doing it wrong. It's like, and it's notable. Like, this isn't good. They seem to be very attached to the way they have been doing things. And it's very hard for them to look backwards and go, oh my God, I've been using this, doing that, and this has been a total disaster for months, if not longer. And it's like if they start addressing what's going wrong and fixing it now, they have to realize they've been screwing this up for quite a while, and they don't want to own that. Excuse me. Yeah, they don't want to own that. They want to pretend like it's not really wrong. Because if they acknowledge that it's wrong, it's been wrong for a while, and there's going to be a lot that they have to address. They don't want to believe that. This is a slow process to get this changed, to get things going where they should. The Hierophant reversed, the Nine of Cups halfway in, halfway out. Things should be going better. This is going to be an uphill battle. I feel like the way you're looking at it is like, well, it's wrong. When you realize it's wrong, start doing it right. Just address it so we can move on from it. See, I feel like on your side, that's the rational thing to do. Just realize it's wrong, fix it, start doing it the right way, address it where you need to. They don't want to do that. They don't want to acknowledge that something has been wrong, because I feel like the way they're looking at it is like, I knew something wasn't quite right. I didn't know what it was. I should have looked into it a little deeper, but I didn't want to. But if I just act like it's actually still right, it's just a different way to do it. It's just a different type of, it's fine. It's just a little different, but it's not different enough to worry about. No, it is. It's very different, and it needs to be addressed. It's going to be a slow process for this to be changing. They're having a hard time addressing what was wrong. They don't want to, it's kind of like they knew something wasn't right, but they didn't want to deal with it. And now, this far down the line, they're like, if I had just dealt with it when I should have, this wouldn't have gone this far. But if I just keep going like it's okay, nobody has to know it was that bad. I feel like we're starting to like switch over, or we're switching. They are switching slowly, but so slowly they're trying to make it seem seamless. I don't know. The way they're handling it is not the best. They have a lot of insecurities. They're not happy about it. They're trying to figure out a way to make it go right without them having to address it or having to acknowledge anything as an error. They don't want to acknowledge errors. That's the thing. So they're trying to slowly change it and make it look like a non-issue. It feels very political, very weird. Like they just don't want to address how bad it really was. You will see change over time. It's slow. It's taking a while. There's a lot of earth here. It's going so slow. I don't feel like you like it. I feel like at the same time, though, like we were talking in the beginning, you don't want the target on your back. So I feel like I have to kind of like just stay off to the side and just watch and hope that it keeps going the right way. not happy with your current connection to it. I feel like it's very uncomfortable that it has to take this long, because the way I see Aquarius looking into the situation is kind of like, no, we should just fix it and just move on. But the way it's going, it's like there's political games that are just ruining the situation. And it's kind of like, instead of addressing the mess and just fixing it, we're playing these games. This doesn't make sense. I feel like I'm dealing with a lot of... Oh, I'm going to say that? Okay. I feel like I'm dealing with a group of jackals. I don't know. I don't know much about the animal of jackal, but it gets a lot of flack. I know that. But I just feel it's dog eat dog. And I feel like I have to be careful. I just feel like I have to be careful I don't become a target, but I also feel like the way that this connection goes in with all these people, the situation isn't nearly as lucrative as it should be. It's very damaged. It's very distasteful. What is Aquarius supposed to get out of this? Like, what? How is this supposed to empower Aquarius? This is something that's not going to go away. There's a problem here. There's a lot of problems here. The problems are very, very deep. So if this is a work situation, this goes so much deeper than what you're dealing with. There's a lot of layers, and it goes very deep with where the problems are originating from. You're seeing it on the level you're working at, but it goes all throughout the organization. Whatever you're working with is what I'm getting. If this is a family thing, you probably can figure out where it started if you really try, but I don't know if that's going to help you. But I feel like there's so much damage here. The question is, what do you want to do with it? I feel like what they're saying is there's a lot of damage in this situation with the way how people treat each other and the way people deal with each other. What is your connection to the situation? And what do you want to do with that? Because I feel like there's so much damage. This is, to me, like living in a really damaged house. And it's kind of like, it's so damaged that it really should be kind of like, maybe it's almost like, should we move and just start a new house and let this get demolished? Because it's kind of, it's bad. This is really bad, whatever this is. I'm trying not to say it, but I keep feeling that. There's so many negative connections going on here. There's so many people playing into negative connections. Yeah, you know what's going on here. There's only so much success you can get out of the situation. What is your connection? What do you want it to be? Is it really possible here? And what does that mean to you? It's kind of like, I keep getting like, it's like the work, but I also get the family connection. Because if it's like a family connection, it's like, is there a way to rebalance this to where you're not connected with certain people anymore? Or is this one of those things where maybe a more distant connection is better? I've seen people like stay connected with their family but move a notable distance away so that there's less of a connection. Kind of like, all right, they're toxic with each other. I don't want these people completely out of my life, but I don't want them in my daily life. So people put a physical distance there, and then they just kind of diminish that connection, and then they just kind of wean it away. It's not completely gone. Maybe they deal with them on certain times a year, 2 or 3 times a year, but that's about it. So they keep the connections, they look out for each other, but they don't want to be directly involved in the connection. The question is, what do you need to do with this? When you see it for what it is, and I think that's what this reading is about, seeing it for what it is, there's so much damage deep down in this situation that it's not really something you can fix. It's more about how do you want to be connected to it and how do you feel like you have to be connected to it. What changes do you need to make so that your life is healthier and you can be happier? This situation is, I cringe to say it, but I feel like that's an older term, foobar. It's foobar. I haven't used that term in a long time. It's blanked up beyond recognition. That's what it is. It is foobar. What do you want to do with it? I feel like that's what this reading is about. Just highlighting it, seeing it for what it is. You have done your best. You do try to do your best, but like, you're human. There's only so much you can do. Now what do you need to do with it now that you see it for what it is? And it's not going to go... It's not... The situation has so many components that are wrong, that are bad. that it's kind of like, do you just sit in this situation and just accept it? Or are you going to find a way to get out of it? I'm struggling to get there because I feel like I'm very like, I feel like part of me wants to go like, I can't leave it. But the other part's like, yeah, but I can change my connection to it. It's kind of one of those things. All right. Hopefully whatever the message is there, hopefully that came out. I feel like it's just setting you up to like make your own decision, see it for what it is, and make your decision what you need to do with it, or start heading towards that decision of what you need to do with it. All right, so hopefully that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.